had sex and stuff with like some freaks, but like wow. Like I don't know, man. This one's like hardcore.
She's fun.
She's real fun.
That's good. You want that.
She's like, but I've never been into the kind of shit that I'm doing with her. It's like some weird like experimental shit, right?
Hello, I mean like that's how you learn and know.
Yeah, but
if you have someone that's willing to like participate, why not?
I actually really like it. So we started talking more and more and more. I'm like, you know what? I'm a heroin addict. You should just come out here. We should get married, and you should keep me in line. She's like, I'm 100% down. They had already started having phone sex all the time. Like, she was like way more into it. So she was supposed to come out Thursday, this Thursday coming up, and like we started like getting real like crazy, like saying I love you and shit before we ever met, like weirdo shit like that. And so like a week ago, she's just like, you know what, like.
You guys are in fantasy land.
Yeah, a week ago she's like. Yeah, but so is she.
I know, no, you guys are both all wrapped up.
We're like
you guys
totally
are
weirdo people. And that's
no, you guys are romantics.
Yeah, and
romantic.
so like a week ago, she's like, I'm just gonna come. She's like, it's gonna cost me $450 to fly in for one night. So she's like, get ecstasy. I'll pay for the hotel. We'll go to a motel and fuck for a bunch of time on ecstasy.
Some internet relationship.
Yeah, and she's like, and then I'll leave.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not gonna turn something like Pat Town, you know?
Right,
like,
who would?
if like some chick with big old fake tits wants to come fuck me on ecstasy,
Yeah.
all I have to do is drive from point A to point B.
You're gonna make that shit happen. Why
Literally,
not?
I'm like, okay, but I had no money, so I had to like literally like make moves to get to ecstasy. Getting ecstasy was no fucking easy task either. That doesn't matter. It took a long time. I got it though, and I got the moon rocks. Have you ever done that?
Oh my god, you got moon rocks too?
Yeah, I can get them all the time now. And they're awesome. So
Continue.
I go to see her. Oh, once I get to the sex stuff, you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's so cool. So wait, where's the moon rocks? Just so you have a visual to go with. I might post it on Facebook. I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm fucking around.
I'm all negative.
I've been saying a lot of stupid drug shit.
Look, I don't like usually censor people, but I'm like, I had to step in there.
You can't do that.
I'm like, I had to step in there.
Whoa, do I not have
Don't
the moon
like
rocks?
that. Like,
I might not have them.
I mean, they don't read your stuff, like your permission and stuff. Like
Oh no, I could post it, but it's more about like people dude on moon rocks. You know, I just like I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I did ecstasy. I had sex for 30 hours. Have you ever done that, you fucking faggot, Austin?
Yes, and it's amazing.
You know? Okay, so these are the moon rocks. Just dank. I mean, you can tell.
Yeah.
I get high looking at that.
Right?
Like literally, my butthole's quivering right now from looking at that because I'm like,
I
it's
believe
like
it.
just such a naughty drug, you know.
But
I
haven't done moon rocks before.
I will get them for you. I'm getting them on Thursday. I got you. I'll kick you down.
All right.
I'm giving him a half gram, so I owe him some money. But anyway, so I was supposed to get it today, but I didn't because I was supposed to get paid for my book royalties, and it's not coming until April 10th. So me and her have no money at all. So like staying with Preston's kind of imperative.
So back to the story.
Should talk to her. So I go pick her up at the airport. I get a gram of Molly and an ounce of GHB, and that's all I could afford. And I stayed with my friend down there. I go the next day, go to the airport, and I'd taken Xanax the night before and done GHB, and I just passed the fuck out. So I didn't really have time to process the night, like the morning.
Yeah.
And when the morning came, I was butt-ass sober, and I started getting really, like, nervous about it.
Obviously, like,
I was just like, you know what, like, I've been in some weird situations.
I know, you're like really assessing the
But, like, this is super weird. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, it was like clarity, like, you know, a moment of clarity, like AA shit.
See, this is like now weird for me. I've actually done shit like this. Like, I've actually been the person flying.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
I've
pay for my
I've
ticket,
never
though.
done that. I've never done that, but
I have.
like I had a prison relationship and I met up with a girl, so it was.
But I didn't meet the person on the internet.
It was. How'd you meet them?
I met them on the dance floor in Austin, and then I flew back.
Oh, but you knew them.
They flew me out.
But you knew them.
Yeah,
I'd never met this person.
So you're at the airport.
So I'm at the airport. She calls me. I remember I had to take a fat shit too, and I was just like, "Fuck, what do I do? Do I shit? What if she wants to fuck right away?" Like, I'm never like fucking when there's like when there might be poop in my butt.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I've done it.
It's not sexy. It's not sexy.
days
Oh yeah.
when I didn't have a home. I'd shit like 6-7 times. I'd have like shit stains, and I'd just be like, whatever. I'm like, throw in my boxers and be like, ew, shit's now. I'm just kidding. Okay, so
Your boy.
she gets on the phone and she's like, I'm here, honey. Where are you? So I like get on some real creep shit and like go and like hide so that I can like examine her.
Yeah.
And I like look and I'm like, I see her. She gets down. She's wearing a backwards hat. She's got a white beater. She's got huge fake tits. Do you want to see visuals?
Yes, I
Like
do.
naked.
Always.
You want to see naked ones?
Always.
Yeah, naked. I mean, she got phenomenal tits.
Awesome.
And I'm not like a tit
I'm
guy.
a tit person.
But you know, like
I'm a
as
tit
I've
person.
gotten older,
I
I'm
love
really starting to get into tits. You
I
know,
love them.
it just like I don't
always
know,
have
man.
one.
I
That's why I want fake ones, but I mean,
I've had enough partners where like people bore me unless they have like a package to present, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, if you can have a package, why not?
yeah, no, totally.
Oh.
So I'm like down, I mean like, look at how big those tits are.
Nice.
They're huge.
They're perfect.
They're fucking huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, and they're like the really good fake kind. Like,
Yeah.
Where like, those probably cost like $8,000, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the picture for face naked? Oh, love that picture.
Oh, that's a beautiful picture.
Yeah. Hot.
Yeah.
Little porn star.
Yeah.
She had a little belly, you know, and like her face is like a little chubby, whatever. Her ass is weird with pants on, but naked it looks great. Don't know.
Well, the
I
thing
had a
is,
girlfriend like that before too.
She's
my
not
first
wearing the right
girlfriend was
pants for herself.
So anyway, you're
She's
meeting
not
over there.
wearing the
So,
right pants to
so
compliment
I
her
look
shape.
at her and I'm like, she's a little out of shape. She's got like a little like baby fat, but like she's got a kid, so like I get it. I'm like, she's decent enough. I'm going for her. I'm like, hey Kayla. She looks at me, she's like, hey baby, and she like comes and kisses me. We like instantly start holding hands. I'm like, okay, this isn't that weird. Now we see each other. It's like not that weird. But like, it was kind of weird because the whole trip was predicated on like gnarly ecstasy sex.
Yeah.
And like, I knew that was going down, but I didn't know when. This is 9:30 in the morning.
Right.
Kind of not thinking it's gonna go down right then.
Right. You gotta ease into it. You gotta.
But it's
Yeah.
exactly what happened because we went to the car.
Oh my
And
god.
she's like, did you get the E? I'm
She
like,
was down and
I'm
ready
like,
to go
yeah, I
for the
got
gay.
the E. And I like
awesome.
wasn't horny at all. I'd been I was
Wanted
like,
to like
literally all.
surprise.
I was pretty
I
fucked
was
up the
like-
night before, and like, she's like, let's do a line of E. I'm like, okay. So
She's
like,
about it. So
Yes.
That's her trip
So-
right there.
oh, she loves
That's
it.
her shit.
so we pour like
So you
a.
gotta be aware of that.
If I like am with her long term, I'm gonna be doing ecstasy like all the time. Which
Mhm.
I like it.
The thing about ecstasy is that you have to rebalance, like
I
replenish yourself.
hate the next day. Those
You-
terrible
you-
Tuesdays they talk about. Fucking
I don't
fuck,
like
man.
getting I don't get what's it called? Hangovers from alcohol. I fucking get gnarly hangovers from Molly or anything.
Oh yeah, I feel horrible.
If
when
I don't
say it.
like,
So
I
she-
have to have fire
so she
chicken.
asks-
You have to have fire chicken.
She says let's do a line, right? And like I had a gram. She like literally put half of the gram out.
Oh my god.
I had done eat like mind you, I used to see. Remember, I used to sell lots of Molly
Yeah,
and
I
like
remember
whatever. I hadn't done this shit in like 8 years or
Yeah.
something. 8-9 years. It'd been a long time.
Yeah.
And even when I used to do it, I didn't do it that often. I didn't like it that
It
much.
wasn't your.
It was
Yeah.
never my thing.
You would do it occasionally, but.
But I was doing MDA and I don't like that shit. I like MDMA. I like
Yeah.
the fucking tweaky, like,
That's
you
what I
wanna
like,
dance
too.
all night shit.
Yeah.
Like that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like we do these fat fucking rails. Don't feel anything. I remember when I used to snort MDA, I'd feel it instantly. I didn't with
Right.
this.
I like
But I
that.
had just given some to my friend Jesse and he said that it was good.
It was
He
just slow,
texted me.
slow lift off?
He said it took about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then he was
Pretty
good.
slow.
Yeah. So we did that and then I had GHB, so we started taking shots of GHB.
Oh my god.
She had never done that,
Mhm.
but like I'm pretty experienced with it at this point. I've been doing
Yeah.
it for the last few months. I think I took like 3 hits or something,
Yeah.
and she took 1. So we're leaving the airport, and like I will never forget this. Like we're leaving, we're like about to get to the ticket booth,
Mm-hmm.
and like I get, and you know about this, I get on that like weird like predatory shit,
Yeah!
where like I just like want pussy and
Right, right.
I
You've been
can't-
activated.
I care nothing about consequences.
Right.
Like it's so weird. It's so rapey.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
love it.
Yeah. So I'm like start rubbing my cock and I'm like, we should get a hotel. And I'm talking like in a deeper voice. Though,
Yeah,
you know,
like,
because like I'm on like some man shit. I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking rail you. And she's like,
It's so true.
she like looks at me and she's just like such a weirdo, like e-tard, you know?
Yeah.
She does it all the time.
Yes.
She's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, she's so retarded, I'm gonna fuck her, she's not even gonna know it. So anyway, so we leave and we end up going to this one hotel. It's like a nice hotel, it's like the West End or something. It's like $200 a night, and this chick's like loaded. She's just like, fuck it, let's do it. So we go in, I'm visual. I have my shirt open like this, I'm wearing fucking aviator sunglasses, and I'm literally like stumbling around like into the lobby. They like look at us and I swear to God they know.
Uh-huh.
They just know that
Honestly.
we're like on some serious shit, you know?
This shit all day, every day.
And are you recording this? What a pervert.
You're by the fucking airport. Obviously, you're gonna be like, I'm cracking.
Yeah, so then we find this like little like it's like, I don't know, it's like some corny ass Mexican name. It's like El Cerrito Agando, like Inglewood or some shit. And we're just like, yeah, they'll take us. And we go, it's like some Arabian motherfucker, and he like sees me and like
he's jerking off.
He's like, just like
for sure.
it was so funny because he sees us and he's like it's $85 a night. Like that's gonna like dissuade us from like going into it. Like we don't have 85 fucking dollars, dude. It's 2016. Like the fuck, dude. You know, it's like a carton of cigarettes these days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like we're like, yeah, we got that. We like tipped him. We, like gave him 5. We're like, yeah, fucking weirdo. And then so we go in the room, rip my clothes off. She sucks my dick. Fuck her. The thing about her, like, and this is a thing about all girls. Okay, girls have this weird, like, anatomical shape where you can lift certain girls' legs up on your shoulders and fuck them.
Yeah.
And there's, like, this synchronicity between your cock and their vagina.
Yeah.
Where it, like, hits their G-spot.
Right.
But for whatever reason, it, like, stimulates parts of your cock you, like, didn't even know exist because your hand, like, can't do it.
Yeah.
It's, like, different, like, wavy, like, convoluted patterns and shit. That just like, you know, like it's like the best feeling.
It's the
I've only been able to do that with one other girl in my whole life. And I don't know why I like intuitively go for this.
Well, you want to
but I go like this and put her legs over my shoulder and I'm just like, and I'm like, you know, I'm like one of those like, you know, I make the audio sounds. Like fuck the shit out of her, whatever. It's like, it probably lasts like 30 minutes, which is cool because like I totally anticipated like maybe like 2 minutes, especially if a finger went in my ass or something. Something unexpected had come. I probably would have came a lot sooner.
Yes.
And so I fucked her for like 30 minutes. We're just like covered in sweat. And
I love that. That's perfect.
Get in bed and I smoke a cigarette and I'm like, wow, that was amazing sex, but I'm on fucking ecstasy, so it's like, fuck, you know, I'd have fucking, you know, great sex like that with a fucking deer, like, it's like dead on the side of the road, like, it doesn't matter who you're fucking when you're on ecstasy.
That's true.
So, so this chick is a fucking Hoover vacuum, like, you know, I start getting, I'm kind of like a pussy, like, with the, like, I'll do a little, and then I get kind of retarded, and then I just, like, want to, like, be under blankets, and I'm, like, nauseous, and I'm just, like covered in sweat, and I'm just, like, and I'm looking at her, and she's, like, doing lines, like, over and over and over again, and I'm just, like,
what do you let yourself into?
Yeah, she's, like, on some, like, weirdo, like, disco shit, and I'm just, like, I'm like, wow, and she just wants to keep fucking and fucking and fucking, and we do, and we do, and we do, and that, you know,
so like, is she capable of being like this sober, or is it just like rock star midlife?
We're in the beginning of the story. There's a beginning, middle, and the end. It's a 2-day thing. So, after that, she's like, "Let's go get drunk at Venice Beach." I go, "Yeah, absolutely, absolutely." So we're driving, and she's like out of nowhere, she's like, you know, she looks at me really serious, and she's like, you know. When you came on my stomach, you tasted me. Next time I want to feel that shit down my throat. And I'm looking at her, and there's like still, there's still, I know, I liked it too. I was like, you know, that's really refreshing.
It's really dirty.
I don't, it's really naughty. Oh, dude, it gets so naughty. It gets so naughty.
She's
It gets so naughty that when I think of the naughtiness, like I'll be with like my mom and dad, and my cock will just start pulsating. I'm like, oh my god, like
See,
I
that's what you
can't
want,
wait to
though.
fuck her again.
That's
But
what
like
you want.
so my dick gets hard.
But you
Just like
always wanna be
I
with her.
rip my pants off. I'm driving. She starts giving me road head. She gives me this like good ass road head. I'm like, oh my god, my life is so cool. Like, I'm definitely gonna write more books. Like I met this chick on the internet because I wrote a book in prison. What? And then like we pull over. Oh, and I forgot to mention that every time I'm fucking her, I do that thing with her legs. For whatever reason, that
You're
synchronicity
obsessed.
comes back, bam, 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 bam. She comes multiple times, and she's like an audible comer. So like every time she climaxes, she's like, ah! And I love that. I'm like, my primal instincts. Like I just see like babies and shit. I'm like, fuck! Like I just want to keep doing it. I keep thrusting and thrusting and thrusting, and then like I'll fucking like at this point, she had mentioned the come down her throat thing. This was in the back of my head. And I'd be like, tell me that
As
shit
you're
about,
busted.
tell me the thing about your mouth again. She's like, oh, you're cum in my mouth. Just tap my chest. I'm like, okay, and I haven't had a girl do that since I was like 18, you know? I'm like, fuck yeah. So I tap her chest and she just dives down, swallows my load, fucking, you know, to the point where every dude knows this when he gets his dick sucked. And they take too much cum out, your shit gets like uncomfortable and you're just like, okay, you're cool, get off. You know, and then like you have to like recharge. So we end up going to Venice Beach. That whole weekend I'm drinking like Jack and Coke doubles.
Yeah.
And I'm buying like 5, 6, 7 at a time. Those are $20 drinks. Like we're spending like mad money, you know? And I get to a point where I'm so wasted at Venice Beach that I can't really walk. But remember, I've been doing GHB all day.
Yeah.
When you couple that with alcohol, it like intensifies it pretty significantly. And like I remember I couldn't really walk. And we ended up going into my car. She drove. I wake up and my fucking ecstasy dealer's in the car. Like some super classic guy with long hair. I have no idea how he even got involved with this. And there's fucking more lines of ecstasy.
What?
And I'm just like, and like, I'm so fucked up that like I'm like a fucking puppet. Like
Did you black out?
No, I passed out for hours. We were in Venice Beach. I wake up in Pasadena with my ecstasy dealer with lines of ecstasy.
Oh
And
my god.
And she's just like, do it. And she like pushes my head into it. I'm like so feeble and just like fucking wasted. I'm just like, do a fat one. And then I go right back to sleep. Wake up at the motel again. And we have a whole gram of ecstasy. We have the moon rocks again. And we just do it all night. Fuck all night. And she starts telling me to talk dirty to her. Now this is where it gets really good. Because like, you know, like I've talked dirty, like my ex Caitlin, a fucking cunt. Like she'd be like, talk dirty to me. And like, this is the thing. And with her, we'd fuck. I hated fucking her. She was so boring. I fucking hated her body. I hated everything about that bitch. And I never, like most girls, I want to come, but I had no respect for her at all. So I would like literally close my eyes and think about weird chicks that I wanted to fuck throughout my life that I hadn't. And like hit it and that'd last like 5 minutes and it'd be over. And I'd like go as hard as I could and come as fast as I could so she would get me off. So I'd literally have to fucking put my hand, I'd like lay down naked, like all tired and like lethargic, up to put my hand on her pussy, touch her butthole and talk dirty to her. And like the shit I would say would be like, you're such a slut. Like all like super monotoned, no passion.
That's lame.
But this chick, she looked so innocent. Like it like turned me on like in the naughty schoolgirl
Yeah,
sense.
I can see that.
So like she'd be like, yeah, what do you want to do to me? And I just grab her hair, throw her head down onto my cock, thrust my dick into her mouth, and I'd be like, yeah. You don't even want to suck my cock, but I'm making you, you fucking slut. Like demonic shit, like exorcist shit, like weirdo, like to the point where like I start questioning like whoa, like what kind of dark side do I have? I have like GHB in my car, like what kind of shit am I gonna be doing 10 years from now when I like am completely out of shape, you know? Like, cause I'm like all into like being dominant with like out permission, you know, and like I'll make her crawl on the floor and I'll like lick her ass and pull her hair and I'll be like, you like that, you fucking whore, like fuck her from behind, make her suck my fingers, fucking grab her, and just like, and then I pass out, don't remember anything. Wake up the next day, right, and like, I'm like, wow, I love ecstasy. You know, like, that was the best sex I've ever had. But, you know, it's kind of like this ambivalent feeling because, like, you're conflicted in the sense where you know that the sex was good because you were on ecstasy.
Right.
But you're like, well, could we do it without ecstasy?
Exactly.
Probably not. And her flight's at, like, 10:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I convince her that we should get drunk. I'm like, we should get drunk. She's like, oh, yeah, we should. She totally, like, has this, like, passivity to her where, like, anything I say, she's like, okay. Like, let's do it. And, like,
You
I love
that.
it. I love that sexually because I just want a chick to be submissive and I want to, like, I want
Every
to,
bottle
I
that you
want
could possibly do.
I want to dominate her. And the more innocent and the more that I can just fucking just be raunchy. Like, dude, I did things to her I've never done. Like, forgot to tell you some of the highlight reel of that first sex on the ecstasy. Like, how perved out it got. Like, there was one point where she was hanging upside down with her mouth open like this. And she's like, fuck my face till I come. And I was like, what? Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! And then I just like came, I was like, oh. And then I like fell over and I got back up. And I remember I was so turned on, this chick just took my load upside down that my dick just like went right back up. It's like it was like ventriloquist shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was like some puppeteer shit. Seriously,
Yeah,
it was
I
like
believe
weird.
it.
I was
Yeah.
like I was standing there, my dick just went,
That's how it should be.
and then she's like, next time, do you want to come all over my face and you want to watch me lick it off? I was like, dude, where the fuck have you been my whole life? Like, these fucking girls that are like grossed out by cum. Like, there's nothing worse than a girl when they swallow your load and like they pretend like they like it, but you can almost see their face grimace, so that you know they don't like it.
Right.
And it's almost like, just spit the shit out if you don't like it. Like, I want a girl that's gonna fucking inhale my cum and like love it as much as I like a wet pussy in my mouth. What the fuck's the difference? It's the same fucking thing. It's bodily fluid of the opposite sex. We're like literally programmed to enjoy that kind of shit. There is something wrong with you if
Some
you're a
people
woman and you don't
taste
like
better than
cum in
others.
your mouth.
Some
There's
people
something
taste
wrong
better.
with you if you're a man and you don't like a wet pussy in your mouth, right?
But there is sometimes you have chemistry with the person where like it's like your you know, it just tastes better, and some people like just kind of like, you know, when somebody smells good and they don't, like, you know, you're gonna reproduce like beautiful children versus if not.
Oh, I already know.
Yeah, so you guys are very
No,
compatible.
and yeah, so like I hated Caitlin's pussy, that dry sandpaper. I felt like I was fucking eating out a fucking stingray or something. Just like the nastiest, like it felt like I was licking sandpaper. Like
I'm sorry.
just a nasty fucking dried oasis of a pussy, dude. Like shit rotted out year before because the fire had gone out. I fucking hated that bitch. Anyway, it's the alcohol talking. I love women. But so anyway, so the next morning.
That was golden.
Now you found
That was
now you
golden.
found
The next morning, she's like, okay, I have to get back on the airplane.
Yeah.
At like 10:30, it's like 9:30. It's like 9 in the morning. Let's
Yeah.
just say it's 9. We literally were up like complete strangers from the internet, perving out an MDMA in some like weird motel in Inglewood. Like,
Yeah.
just random ass shit. Wake up at 9 in the morning. We go to the Marriott because we like had to find a bar because we just like had to keep the party going, and we end up going to the Marriott, and we asked the valet guy, we go, do you have alcohol here? And they're like, dude, it's like 9 in the morning. Like, I don't know if like they even serve alcohol this early. So we end up going.
Mimosas for breakfast for sure.
Yeah, we
Why
go,
not?
is the bar open? And they're like, well, if you get a table, you can. So of course, me and her on some weirdo shit again. Come up to me, what do you want? I want 2 Jack and Cokes. Doubles, 2 Jack and Coke doubles. So that's 4 drinks instantly. She gets like 3 mimosas, you know, like we start
I love
drinking.
them now.
Like we get to a point, and it's like so weird because we're like half retarded from the Molly from the night before. Like we're so fucked up that we like almost can't keep track of how much we're drinking.
Right.
So like all of a sudden they're cutting us off. Like, no, you guys can't have any more alcohol. Like, who's driving? Like, where are you guys going? And like we look at the clock, it's like 11. We're like, dude, you missed your flight. Like she had to be there at 10:30. So we end up going to the airlines, and I'm like, you know, we like really, because we're delusional, codependent people. I'm like, this is my wife, and like, she's got the preliminary stages of emphysema and she's got a respiratory disorder. She just got on new medication and it takes about 24 to 36 hours for her to get acclimated to it. Elevation could affect it negatively. And the doctor said that she can't fly right now until tomorrow. And they're like, well, if you present a doctor's note, we can extend the flight for tomorrow. I'm like, oh yeah, for sure, we got that. We're like, cool, we're coming back tomorrow. Bam, we leave. She's like, let's get cocaine. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's get cocaine.
Oh my
We go on
God.
some like crazy, oh wait, then some really weird shit happened. We end up going to this fucking house. There's like,
You met your match. Holy shit.
yeah, we
Ryan.
end up going to this house, like, and I'm wearing the same outfit I'm wearing now. I have like a fucking open flannel. I got my fucking beer belly. Like, there's like just an outline of some guy that like might have gone to prison, might have been in shape, but now he's just some fat guy that drinks beer and like, and I'm walking around like I don't give a fuck, and I'm wearing aviators, just of course. And so we go to this house, right? And like there's this like Mexican guy, and there's like this little like there's like I always like get weirded out when guys have piercings. There's like some super pierced up guy.
Yeah.
There's like some white guy. I fucking hate guys with piercings. I don't know why, but like something about it is like so effeminate, and it just like bothers me. I never have liked that. But we're like there, and they have like pounds of bud everywhere, and like they have like they have a machine that presses wax. And like, it's obvious these guys are just like selling drugs, and there's some girl there whose cousin I had fucked like months before when I was partying, and like I don't even remember, we were like in Hollywood or whatever, like somewhere in LA.
Yeah.
And like, so this chick hated me because like last time I
man.
saw her, like she had to babysit me, and they had like a half ounce of coke on this table, and my friend Steve was like, do not let him snort coke. He's on parole. Like, if he snorts coke, like, we'll never see him again because he can't stop because he's such a drug addict. This chick, like, so like me and her dynamics were just bizarre to begin with.
Yeah.
Because imagine being such a fucking drug addict as myself, being exposed to like a half ounce of like flaky cocaine, drunk, and you're not allowed to touch it. So I hated this chick just to begin with. And she was being so mean to my new girlfriend, or, the stranger who, is now my girlfriend, whatever, she's gonna be my wife. And, so, like, we're there for a while, we're drinking beers the whole time, and, like, this guy Steve I'm with is, like, this little, like, white dude I've known for a while. He's cool, he's a G, does hip-hop. Like, he's just giving me beer after beer. Like, he's like one of those guys that just, like, eggs my shit on. Like, he, like, wants to see me in action. He's like, oh, here's another beer. Here's another beer,
He's a total enabler.
Oh, dude, and he parties just as hard.
Yeah.
He's equal. He's fucking equal.
Yeah, he's totally happy.
I don't say that about anyone,
ride.
but that guy goes just as hard for sure.
Yeah. He enjoys
So I have like
company.
2 beer bottles, and I'm like, dude, let's get the fuck out of here. So we leave. We get like halfway down the driveway, and they come running out of the house, and they're like, you have our fucking purse. My new girl had accidentally taken the girl's purse. So they thought we were trying to jack them.
Oh
And
my
it turned
God.
into this huge ordeal where like they were trying to jump me. And I had a bottle in each hand. I'm wasted. It's like 11 in the morning now or like something. And like my friend Steve is like literally telling him, he's like, you touch Ryan, like I'm gonna fucking jump in and fuck you up. And like this guy was like, no, just get the fuck out of here. And he pushed the purse into my chest. I'm not a fighter, but like I was wasted and I'm trying to impress this girl I'm with. So I was like, hey, don't talk to me sideways, motherfucker. And I had 2 bottles. I was all fucking hit you with a bottle, And like, he's like, what? And like, so he grabbed this other guy. So these like guys are like closing in to jump us. Anyway, we like got out of that situation. And what ended up happening is we went to FedEx. I wrote some badass letter for Kayla, saying, about this respiratory failure, blah, 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 blah. It was like perfect, and I had stolen a heading from White Memorial Hospital in East LA. Like, I found their logo. I like literally copy and pasted it onto the letterhead so it looked like professional letterhead. Like, I was like very verbose and like sounded like a doctor and like said like Dr. Monroe. I was like using like medical terminology and like the way that they would phrase it, like, medical
I'm more
verbiage
impressed
and
by
shit.
that than the fighting part.
Oh yeah. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a fighter.
Such a boy thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not a fighter, but like, you know, if I'm trying to like impress a girl,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
gonna be like,
you know,
yeah.
she needs to feel she can be
I'm tough,
protected by you.
and let's
Yeah.
set the record straight on this. I will fight, and
Yeah.
everyone knows that. I'm just not good at it, but I'm like retarded, and I'll do it. You know what I mean? So like, we end up getting a letter. We end up getting a half ball of like the worst fucking cocaine I've ever had in my life. Horrible. Like I didn't even get high, and we kept snorting it. We ended
You
up
got baby X-Lax.
yeah, we end up getting more GHB. Fucking, you know, we hang out all night. Our ecstasy dealer's with us or something. That guy's like always just shows up. Like I don't even notice how he gets there, and he's like in our car. It's like happened multiple times
So
that
are you
weekend.
calling him or?
Well, like I'm just so fucked up. I don't really know what's going on, you know.
Oh,
And like
God.
he'll just be there,
Yeah.
and then like he's with us, and then Steve's there like all the time too. And I'm just kind of like I just don't like. It's really weird.
So they
'cause-
watch you guys have sex?
No.
Oh.
No. But
I don't know.
we're both way down with shit like that. So yeah, it wouldn't matter if
Yeah.
they were. But we end up leaving. We go to downtown LA. We pick out more GHB. I keep taking hit after hit after hit after hit after hit of G. Like I probably did like maybe like an ounce and a half or something, which is like a lot.
That is a lot.
And I'm doing coke, but the coke sucks, and we end up leaving. We go back to drop off the ecstasy dealer. He felt bad that the coke was bad, so he's like, "Let me give you some needlepoint acid," which he explained to us was like, you know, when LSD comes, you know, when it's processed, it comes in crystal form. They have fluff LSD, they have needlepoint LSD. It's all about how it's washed
Yeah.
and how much crystallization occurs and like how it's formed, and
Science
there's like all these
behind it.
weird little
it's very.
it's very
Look
complex,
at Teddy, dude.
but
It's
like
heady.
this particular stuff, it was
Beautiful.
like 200 microdots a hit, which is like
Yeah.
insane. Like compared to that water we did last weekend, it's
Yeah.
like probably like 5-6 hits of that, you know, like one hit. So he comes out, he's like, "Look, I'm gonna give you some of this acid." I'm like, "Cool." And I'm really thinking about it, because I had like a great time with you guys last time we tripped. It was fucking
Oh, yeah.
amazing. And like,
Was she a tripper though?
she's never tripped.
She's
done
never
shrooms.
tripped.
She's done mushrooms.
See, you were embarking on a journey with her.
She's done mushrooms, but like she's never done L. And
Yeah.
like, you know, like I've seen more people freak out on mushrooms than acid. But now that I'm older,
You just never know.
it's like
crapshoot.
like
Unless
different.
You know,
Like,
you don't know.
yeah,
you
you
don't know.
could like, I don't know. Some people just aren't compatible with acid, you know.
Some
And like
people
I
aren't.
didn't
So there are
want to
some that I've never
ruin.
suggested them to do it.
I didn't want to ruin 14 hours
Mm-hmm.
of this very limited
Right,
time capacity
exactly.
that we had together. So I decided not to do it, but he put a hit on a Triscuit, put a hit on another Triscuit and some blotter. I picked up some PCP. So I was like, oh cool, I got all these drugs. Like I'll just like bring this back to him, and we'll probably just do them in his apartment and on like a Thursday or something. And he'll get mad at me, call him sick at work, and we're on like angel dust and you know just some classic shit that we'd get into. So I'm like all like proud of myself. I'm like I'm bringing the bacon home for
Yeah.
him. It's like I was standing there.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
he's gonna get some shit. And
You're always thinking about him. That's
so but I look at my friend Steve, and he gave Steve the same thing. He gave him 2 Triscuits with its acid on it. It's 11:30 at night, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Steve eats them. I'm like, hey man, like did you just eat that acid that he said was equivalent to like 10 hits of the blotter that I just took last weekend? This is ridiculous. Oh, I'm good. I'm gonna go home to my mom's and listen to Pink Floyd. I'm like, okay. So we end up dropping, with ecstasy that was gone, we end up dropping this dude off at his house, and we leave. Now it's like 12:30. I'm like, honey, just find us a motel. She's like, I want to spend like $40. I'm like, cool. And we end up in East LA, which like you should not be in East LA after midnight if you're not Mexican. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're a human being, you shouldn't be in East LA after midnight. It just gets pretty hectic.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're there, and definitely you're feeling the vibes there. It's just kind of like a fucking malevolent place, you know? And we'd probably tried 25 hotels spanning from East LA to downtown LA until we found one. We finally found one. She insisted that we stop by the liquor store and get a 6-pack of Budweiser, which I was cool with. We still had cocaine, which sucked. But we got back to the place. We sat there. she was a fan of my writing, so she asked me to tell her stories about my life that kind of correlated with my writing. And we started Blow, and of course I love talking about myself, so
I know.
I did it, and I got all loquacious on coke, and I was just like, like I'm so cool, like this
You
is what
love
I,
her.
me,
She loves hearing about you.
and she
I
does.
know,
So it's like
I know.
it's like the perfect.
It's perfect.
It's the yin for my yang. She likes listening to me.
Yeah.
I like talking,
Yeah,
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And like sex was like we weren't on ecstasy anymore, so sex was weird. But I'll tell you what, when we finally did get naked, we finally get down, and I put her fucking legs up again, and I started talking to her. And I was like, you pretend like you don't like me fucking you, but you're so naughty that I can hear you fucking purring, you little whore. And I could just feel her pussy. Her pussy would pulsate on my cock because it was getting so aroused.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a pussy is, right?
Yeah.
Like scientifically, a pussy and sexual arousal is just pressure being built up. So like when you actually connect with someone on like, that level sexually, you can like either feel their cock, like fucking blood flowing into it and like pulsating in your pussy.
No, I understand.
Or the opposite side of the spectrum, you
It's
can feel
beautiful when it's
it
simultaneous.
is.
Oh
It
my
really
God, it's
reminded
so
me
beautiful.
of,
It really
and
is
this is
beautiful.
probably just from years of taking psychedelics, but it really reminded me of like that scene from Pink Floyd, The Wall, where like the flower turns into a vagina and like the stem fucking comes around and like goes back into it and all that shit. Like that's how I felt, like we were connecting like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were being dirty and I was making her feel like my little slut, like feeling naughty, but like the sex was so explosive and so powerful, and we were on ecstasy. It had nothing to do with that. We were just fucking, like, me and her have that kind of sexual chemistry, and I love seeing her naked. She loves seeing me naked. Whatever. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
We stayed up all night. I probably literally fucked her. I'm not exaggerating. We probably fucked like 9-10 times. Like, I came that many times and just kept going and going and going and going. Yeah, it's probably attributed a lot to the fact that I was snorting blow and, like, being on G and, like, had all these stimulants in my body that were making me keep going and going and going. Next day was more mellow. Woke up. Went to Redondo Beach, and we spent the entire day getting wasted. She passed out drunk. I let her sleep. I called like 3 of my closest friends to tell them how insane the sex was. I was like, I found my little slut. I've been waiting for it for so long. Like, I found someone that's just gonna serve me sexually, and she loves it just as much as I do.
That's beautiful.
And it's beautiful.
It
and
is.
and
It truly is. It's like the ultimate. Who
And
doesn't
yeah,
want that?
it may be like, to some people, they may be like, well, you're misogynistic, or like, you hate
No, it
women,
is beautiful.
or like, you do this.
No, you're saying this.
No,
like,
it's,
like,
no, you know what it's, you know what it is?
Like
It's I
sexy.
fucking grew up watching hardcore pornography, she did too. We're fucking become completely desensitized, sexuality's blasé to us. We both need to be that hardcore to connect, and we do. So fuck what everyone thinks, and that's what our relationship is predicated on. We both acknowledge that. We both want to get married because we realize that a marriage is just like some weird like financial and bureaucratic institution to like control somebody. But what it really means, or what it can mean, is that it's 2 people trying to build a relationship together, opposed to the conventional or orthodox route where people jump into a relationship, are together 2 years, the fire starts to kind of waver. It's not what it used to be. The next logical step to keep that fire going is to jump into an engagement. Maybe that'll last another 6 years, a year, you get the wedding planning stage, then you get married, then about 6 months to a year after that, you get married. 3 years from now, you're fucking hookers in Vegas every time you go to a conference for work, you know? And that's just the reality of what marriages look like in contemporary America. That's not what I want my
People are
marriage to
so
look
suppressed.
like. That is not what I want my marriage to look
People
like.
deny themselves like
So, like, my parents tell me I'm crazy. You've been married 38 years. You guys are fucking miserable.
Right.
You know? Anyone else that tells me that I'm an idiot
No.
is divorced.
The glue
I don't want to
in the
fucking listen to
relationship
anyone.
is the sex. Sex is the glue.
Fuck yeah.
If
Dude,
you don't have that, then you don't have
That
shit.
chick gets me hard by sending me text messages. Do you know how
Yeah.
fucking hard I have to go to stimulate myself to get off when I'm by myself? I have to stick fucking skateboard tools up my ass and shit. Like, it's gotten fucking ridiculous.
I know what you mean, though.
And
I know what
she just,
you mean.
she just
No,
like
she's
totally,
equivalent.
she can say
She-
one
that's
thing,
beautiful.
and she's just like, I'm your naughty little slut. And like, any girl can say that, but I know she really is. I know she really wants to swallow my cum.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's really about my ball sack in her face. I know she's really about my asshole, and I'm about all her private parts, and that's beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
I agree. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, you would be happy for me if I wasn't me.
Uh,
And someone was telling me that.
I've had that, and it's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful.
It's
There's
beautiful.
nothing
When
better.
somebody is just as raunchy as you, and like you said, they don't judge, they're just equally just enthralled.
You know what she told me?
Equally.
You know what she told me?
Oh,
She's like, the only thing I won't do with you is ass to mouth.
I'm sorry.
No. I've never done that. I have no interest in that. When I watch that in porn, it doesn't do anything for me. But I have a feeling if I asked her, she'd do it. Because she just wants to please me. Because that's the, like, primitive role of females and males. Females are submissive. Men are dominant. They're alpha. So when you have two extreme personalities, that's how it manifests itself sexually. Like, you have extreme manifestations of that. Like, the alpha male, like, takes what it wants. Like the fucking, you know, like the classic caveman that takes the cave woman, drags her by the hair into the cave, bends her over, fucks her, clubs her,
Yeah.
sends her back into
And
the
I
wilderness.
feel like on a primal level, every woman desires and needs that, needs to be grabbed and taken.
They all want that. Look at
From time to time, for
look
sure, who doesn't?
Look at societal
And if you aren't doing
norms,
that, then
and
fucking-
look at cultural shifts.
Yeah.
The biggest novel of the last 10 years was 50 Shades of Grey. You know why? It's because our entire culture is so suppressed sexually,
I have
and they
a feeling-
can only have vicarious
No,
experiences
but have
through
you
shit
noticed
like
that like younger guys are more feminine, like androgynous kind of somewhat? And I have a feeling it's like to do with the plastics and stuff. Like it's
Yes.
estrogen is seeping in. It's like it's different because everything's
Oh yeah, they're
encapsulated.
dryness. And
and
yeah,
it's like,
no,
it's
there's like,
infecting.
and it's like kind of in vogue right now for there to be like sexual equivocal shit. Like
Look at Justin
people,
Bieber. He's very feminine.
people are kind of
androgynous
like,
looking,
people are like kind of ambiguous sexually, and like you're finding that more people are embracing that, like different like subcultures, like, and it's like weird, it like crosses over, like hipsters,
Well, I
ravers,
really do
they're all
believe-
like kind of bisexual.
We're all bisexual. It's just some of us choose to engage in it more than others.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's true. I don't
I
like
agree.
guys.
I
I
don't.
really
agree.
don't. I really
No.
don't.
I do.
And you know, fuck.
I really do feel like it's like, yeah, I do. But that's my thought, not yours.
Like, there's nothing that a fucking penis could do for me compared to a wet pussy. Like, sticking your fingers, it's like, you remember those things in the ocean
Well, I mean, I
that you
feel like-
stick your fingers in and it fucking closes in on you? I
Yeah.
can remember being a little
Sea
kid and how
anemone?
that kind of excited me. And like
Sea anemone.
Sea
Yeah.
anemone. Sea
Yeah.
anemone. Sea anemones.
Yes.
That's super hard to say drunk. Sea anemones. Sea anemones. Like, I remember being like a young pervert. Like, in like my early years of sexuality, like I'd go to the beach like on class trips and like we'd touch those things and this like warm thing would just like wrap around your fingers. And then like later when I actually like could get girls and I'd like talk them into letting me fucking stick my fingers in there, I'd get that same feeling of excitement.
Yeah.
Now a man could never do that for me. Never. And I'm totally open-minded. If the right dude came along, I mean,
Maybe his butthole would pucker the right way.
But I don't.
Maybe his butthole would pucker for you the right way.
And you know, it's funny because like I love chicks' assholes. They're awesome. Like a chick's asshole is gorgeous, especially now, like post 9/11, where they're bleaching assholes and shit, and they're pink like a pussy. It's like fuck, dude. What a great time to be alive. Instead of like the 40s where like chicks had bushes and they had like coiling fucking asshole hairs and shit. That would have been so bunk. But now girls are all clean shaven.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. You know when the last time I saw a girl with like any sign of pubic hair was? It had to be like 02, 03. Like it's been years. Years. Except for that one black hooker, but I don't know if that was pubes or if that was just like some sort of like growth. Like, I don't know what that was. But, like, and like I have nothing against black people. I like black people, But like I'm just saying, like that chick's
That was your
pussy like was
experience.
super furry. I was like, whoa, like
It's
is
gross. It's gross.
I'm not.
That was your experience.
Hey, are we out of alcohol?
This is a great video. I love it.
Yeah, Kayla's gonna love this. Hi, honey. I'm sorry. I drank too much. And I spilled the beans. Whatever.
Nothing to be ashamed of at
There's
all.
nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
No. I discovered something.
You did.
I'm a radical dominant male. And like I've never really played with that. Like I've never really had a girl that was that like her inhibitions have been lowered like that, where she's just like didn't give a fuck, and it turns me on because I really don't give a fuck either. I'm like,
It's not
yeah.
about her inhibitions being like lowered. It's about, I feel like, her embracing
Yeah,
herself.
she's just sexually liberated.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah,
that's how I
fuck
see it
yeah.
as. That's how I see it. I don't see it as.
And I can build a relationship off that.
Mm-hmm.
She reads books, and she's like the best lover I've ever had. There's no reason, and she's anti-heroin. There's no reason with those three components that I can't build a long-lasting thing. There's things and weird idiosyncrasies
There's hope for
about
that.
her that,
Yeah.
like, kind of are red flags at this point.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I.e.,
I
like,
say you go with it.
she
Just
like,
go with it.
she tends to, like, really freak out about, like, small petty shit.
Like what?
Like, when that purse got stolen. Do you think they're mad at me? Do you think they're mad
Oh,
at
she
me?
obsessed on it?
She obsessed on it, like obsessive, like crazy shit.
Okay,
She's
so that's
already,
something to be
she's
aware of.
already sounding like weird, overt, like jealous patterns. Like
Ooh, that's
any
intense
girl
one.
that comments on my Facebook, I get an instant text message.
No.
Who is this? What's going on?
That shit I can't handle.
I like it.
You okay? Well, then that's good for you. Then.
It's
I don't dig
that's
that.
also like an extreme manifestation of like a need for attention, because that's like the ultimate attention. If someone's giving you so much attention and they're almost getting like psychotically jealous over you, to me that's flattering. Like I actually like that,
Right.
and that's probably some deep-seated weird
To a
Freudian
point,
shit I got.
no,
But
to a point, like, but if it's like, I don't know, I don't like, if it's like, no, I see what you're saying a little bit. Healthy jealousy, yeah, it makes you, it's like, yeah, it's kind of nice, but when it's overly done, it's not for me. But
Well, I
if you're
like
into it, then that's great for you.
I like it. I've been on like a
Then I feel
journey.
like you guys are really
I've been on a
compatible.
journey where I'm less jealous these days, but I like haven't had a chick that jealous ever, and I like it.
Yeah.
'Cause
You like
it's-
it being reversed.
Well, I like it because it makes me feel less insane. I'm just like, okay, there's other people like that out there,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Which, like, do we have more beer? Or
And you guys found each other.
Mm. Damn, I'm so drunk. I have to get up all early. I'm drinking all day.
What time is it?
8:30?
I know, I should.
Is that early?
It's pretty early for drinking now. And what time is it? Because like, I have to get up at the same time. Because I have to be at an appointment at 9 a.m.
That was it.
1.
One?
5.
Jeff and I go to bed at like 5 every night. Like,
Yeah.
Lies.
3 hours from now,
Yeah.
there'll be like some weird anime on or
Yeah.
something, and Jeff will be like, "This is tight," and I'm just like, "I just want to see how many likes I got. Like, I don't care, you know. It's all about
True.
me. You know, I don't care. I'm cool."
I was like, in the Matrix, it's all real. We're really in the Matrix.
We got mescaline coming.
Yeah, I know. I want some of that.
He told you?
I already did.
Little slut, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I like
Hey.
surprised him. I've been like on a quest to find that for
Yeah.
years. Like,
Man, the psychedelic warriors. This is the psychedelic warrior crew.
I love it.
did you see the DMT video?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. When we were at his parents' house.
Yeah. I know.
Jesus.
Dude, he filled me in on this thought process that, and like how you guys were sinking, and I was like, wow.
He doesn't even understand completely.
Well, you know, I mean, that particular substance, like, so we watch, I love that video that Joe Rogan does where he explains it, and how dimethyltretylene is produced in your pineal gland, and how you release DMT during REM sleep, and how everyone essentially goes through DMT trips as they sleep. I read about it, and like I used to get like quarter pounds of that shit. I used to have just a lot of it,
Yeah.
and I used to do it like it was crack. Like me and my ex, the one that just passed away
Yeah.
a couple months ago. Like we used to smoke DMT like it was crack. And we
I
called it
remember.
hippie crack.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, we did it with you.
Yeah.
So like, I mean like, but yeah, and you hung out with us. You'd come in, but like as an outsider, you'd see us like at one moment.
Right.
But like this is going on for like months and months and months, and
Right.
like we'd fucking smoke DMT and have sex, and like it was like real bizarre shit, you know. So like now when I do DMT, I take it, I'll blast off. It's like 10 seconds, and I like whoa, and then it's gone.
Mhm.
I would give anything to be able to sustain it for 10 minutes. I don't want to go to some dark, hellish, nightmarish fucking
Yeah.
landscape that he went.
Right. Don't want that.
But you know, it just doesn't do the same. And mushrooms did
No.
it for years.
You know what?
I-
We also figured out. It's the cleansing ritual
Like,
from sage.
There was this one time that I wrote about this in my book, right? I was at this party in Boston, and this was years ago. I was like 18. I was with my first girlfriend, Kate. If you're watching this, just send me an email. I mean, let's work it out, Kate. It's been a long time. And, you know, there has to be some closure because there's never
Always.
been. There's never
It's
been
better.
closure.
It's better with
But
pleasure.
me and Kate went to this party. I'm just kidding, Kate. Fuck you. No, I'm not. But you know, Kate and I went to this party. They're charging $5 for a cake cup.
Yeah.
I grew up in Santa Barbara. We have Isla Vista. You got 30 keg parties going on in a row.
Yeah.
You know, in free beer, free whatever. Once in a while, you'll have like Andre Nicotina fucking performing on a stage randomly. Like, we grew up spoiled as fuck in the party scene. And so, like, being in Boston with these, like, stuck-up, like, pretentious, like, New
Yeah.
Englanders, they're like, yo, you know, yeah, I'm
I
not gonna do the
know.
Boston.
I know what you mean.
You know, it's $5 for a red cup. You pay $5, we give you a red cup. You get like 3 beers.
It's like, no, fuck that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, like, me and her go in the kitchen, and we're like, let's just jack a cup. We go into some cupboard, and we find a pan that says Magic Brownies, do not eat. We're like, fuck yeah, let's jack these people. So we get a garbage bag, we get the garbage bag, we put a bunch of these things in a garbage bag, and we take them. Bring them home. We thought they were weed brownies. You know, like, who else puts other shit in brownies?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd never seen that at that point in my life.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I was an idiot. Leave this shit in my closet. I mean, we were, like, shooting heroin and all that kind of shit back then. So, like, I mean, weed was, like, gimmicky, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But one night we didn't have any drugs, and we were all like, let's eat some brownies. And we're drinking that night, and some guy's like, oh, we should have a, you know, a brownie eating contest. I'm like, okay. Like, cause you know, I was always one of those guys where, like, I'd be that guy in the corner of the party, like, pounding Jack Daniels, like, trying to impress, like, my older high school friends. And then I'd be, like, hugging a toilet for the next 6 hours, swearing I'd never do it again, and do it again the next week. And I was like a fucking jester. And I still had that, like, immature mentality at that point. So I started eating all these brownies and I probably ate like 15, 20 of them or something. And my friend was the one that tasted it, and he's like, dude, I taste mushrooms in these.
Oh my
And we're like,
God.
what? So we like go break them up over the sink, and like you see spores.
Oh.
And like the little, like, you see like little hints of like orange, like the psilocybin, like cubenzi,
Yeah.
like you could tell they were cubenzis, and we're like, oh my god, like, so he starts making himself puke. I try to make myself puke, but like there's brownie batter like stuck in my throat, so the shit won't come up. And I swear, like, I was such a little warrior back then that I was just like, I'm gonna embrace it. Like, you can't die from this, right? And yeah,
Oh, because you have to make a choice. There's a point where you have to make a choice. You have to, like,
So how many brownies?
you have to, yeah.
Did you
That's the
say?
way I would approach
15,
it.
15, 20,
That's the
something
way
like
I
that.
approach it. I would just be like, I'm strapped in.
And I
I'm
did
going.
mushrooms
I'm
all the
going
time in
for
high
it.
school.
And how
Yeah.
did you say, how many into each
Give,
mushroom?
like-
How many in a
Get
brownie?
into
Probably
it.
like a
Just
half
lean
eighth.
into it.
Half
Like,
eighth per
yeah.
brownie?
Yeah.
And you had 20 brownies?
Something like that,
Oh my
15 or
God.
20, yeah,
That's like, you had like about
Wow.
a zip?
something like that.
I've done that before.
And like I remember
I've done that
I went
before.
back to my apartment and my girlfriend was like, I don't want to be around you. Because I'm doing mushrooms, like, you know, Boston's like flooded with that at that point. It was, you know, mushrooms are seasonal, so it was like, had to be like some season where they were just around. So
Yeah.
we were doing them pretty frequently,
Yeah.
so I think that helped a lot.
Yeah.
God, if I just done them just like raw dog without like any
Woo!
mushrooms, like built up tolerance, it just would have been worse. But I remember looking at this like Kurt Cobain poster. I had like a Kurt Cobain poster, and like I was listening to music, and he started nodding like this. Really, that's the last thing I remember, except for wandering outside while it was snowing. And I wound up in the hospital, and they're just like shooting me up with like liquid benzos, and I just had this insane fucking trip at the hospital, where like I literally just like saw my whole life, and like I remember like the vantage point from my life had shifted where I could see like this pain that I was inflicting on my parents for all this like weird tumultuous shit that had gone down with their relationship over the past few years.
Yeah.
And like I was on a real bummer, and it lasted, there was like lingering depression after that for a long time. But what happened is mushrooms would not work for me anymore. And like I tried to take them like a lot of times after that. I mean, Jeff has seen me eat an eighth of mushrooms where he's literally in the closet like having a rebirth experience, thinking he's like a fucking fetus, like popping through like some umbilical cord chamber, like weird shit, whatever the fuck you said. And like I'm sitting there like, fuck, these don't work.
Yeah.
And I thought that maybe like part of me had gone like retarded or autistic, or like, you know, there had been like some like mental disability that might have occurred, like where I like literally was so fried and burned out that I just couldn't experience that kind of shit anymore.
Like you short circuited this like.
Yeah, because like people would trip out. Jeff, I mean, you can vouch for this. I'd eat like an eighth. Shit, I ate 2 eighths last time we did it, and I had a very mild trip compared to them. I mean, 2 eighths of mushrooms is like
your tolerance
significant.
is
Well,
acquired.
it's a poison. I think my body probably created some sort of resistant agent at that time where it was like, do never let this shit in again, you know? And yeah, they just don't work, you know? So, but like then, like, you know, I started like dipping into like the, you know, we got mescaline, and I did peyote buttons, and we did
I've never done
2CB.
Actually, no, I have done peyote.
Those weird analogs that like, those weird designer analogs, which are fucking crazy. So I could like get off. And of course, L always works.
Yeah,
Shit, I
I
take a
love
hit of L, and
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
I'm on a good one.
It's a classic.
But mushrooms, so like we've been talking about lately, we're like, we should get some mushrooms. Like, which is weird because we're like in our 30s now, and it's kind of like uncouth.
Never.
And take that kind of shit.
Never.